Perfect.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to episode 37 of the Bright Lights podcast series. I am your host, Brandon, with my co-host, PT. How you doing, PT?
Doing pretty good. Just enjoying is it the second day of summer? I guess you could officially call it. So
officially.
Enjoying it.
Awesome. Glad to hear. All been busy. Hopefully it'll start slowing down a little bit, get a little bit more stuff out. But yeah, I mean, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's get into it.
All right, let's do this. Let's get you guys a nice little podcast right here. So, we're going to start off with the NHL Draft. I know we got a couple hockey listeners, a couple Hawks fans. I know me and PT, big Hawks fans, but this NHL Draft this year was a two-player draft. There were two players that you knew that were going to go 1 and 2, and Jack Hughes, who was easily the best center in the draft, and easily one of the best skaters in the class as well. He was taken by the Devils at number 1. Then we had Capo Kaku, who's a right wing, who's a big boy, who skates very well for his size, not afraid to lay out hits. He has a hard, heavy shot, comes in fast, comes in heavy, beats goaltenders all the time, especially from the blue line. So it's going to be interesting to see those two guys this upcoming year because both of them are both projected to start the year up in the NHL. And PT, we had the 3rd overall pick where we took Kirby Dach. Before I say anything, how do you feel about that pick?
So I saw a lot about this kid. Big frame. I guess it's it could be an upside in the NHL. It's always not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I truly and honestly, I guess a lot of people are considering that he might be the best left, best available.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was what we really needed.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we needed that defenseman. Mm-hmm. It just, I don't know. I just was very surprised that we got a center, and I definitely think that we could have went with the defenseman said. I know that a lot of the natives that Barstool Chief calls them were not happy with this pick.
Yes.
I wasn't too into this pick either. I thought, like all I've been saying all year, is that our defensemen and our defense and our goalie game needs to improve. And I saw the rest of the results for the draft for the Blackhawks, and I know we got a couple defensemen. I don't know if you noticed, but I think almost every single pick we had this year was over 6 foot.
Yeah.
That's. I guess they were watching the Stanley Cup Finals because I guess the whole new thing is big bodies. So I don't know if that's what they're going for. But I don't mind big bodies because I also think one of the things we were lacking this year in the past couple of years after definitely losing Andrew Shaw and Bufflin was physicality.
Exactly.
So I definitely think that's another good thing that the Blackhawks can add is some physical players. So that definitely could. I think physicality is a huge part of hockey, and I think that definitely can change. Ways that if the Blackhawks can give them a second push in the third period, which they need.
Yeah, so pretty much everybody and their mothers thought, and they kind of thought they knew that the Hawks were going to take Bowen Byram. He was the number 1 defenseman in the draft. Yep. Everybody thought we were going to take him. But after I looked at it, because at first I was completely disappointed, and I still would have rather have taken Bowen Byram instead. But looking at it, we've got some defensive prospects, but we all know, especially us as baseball fans, know that prospects don't always pan out. So that's going to be interesting to watch when you know that Byram is ready for the NHL. So we got a center. He was the second best center in the draft, besides, of course, Jack Hughes. They're saying that he could be ready as soon as next year. So I think that he's going to move to forward. Because, we've already got Jonathan Toews. So
I agree.
That pretty much wraps it up on the NHL Draft. We're going to do the next couple things quick, NHL Draft. And now we're going to move on to the NBA Draft, where there was really no surprise in the first 3 picks.
Correct.
Zion went 1, John Morant went 2, RJ Barrett went 3. No surprise there. And then there's a couple picks in between the Bulls pick, where the Bulls took Colby White, who I'm pretty happy with this pick.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I definitely think I watched Kobe White all year last year at North Carolina, and he impressed the hell out of me. I think that he's definitely he's fast. He's going to bring some pace to the Bulls. He's going to bring some excitement. He can shoot the lights out of the gym. The Bulls definitely needed a point guard, so I'm very glad that I think they drafted very well for that 7th pick. I'm excited for him. He definitely seems like a nice kid too.
Yep. I love the video.
Everyone saw that video.
Yep.
And I saw another video too that someone asked him Cubs or White Sox, and he said White Sox. So, that's always a plus too. So it's always good. I think we got not only a good basketball player, a really good kid over in general. A couple of things I want to say about the draft, not just about the players. I think that it was very interesting. Well, I think it's kind of the same thing we've been talking about this whole time is, how this whole draft is basically just been about Zion.
Yeah.
And it was starting to mention during the draft, even by Zion himself and the Pelicans, that they need to slow down. Zion said himself he's an 18-year-old kid. He knows he's good, but people just need to let him evolve, and he will.
Yep, I agree.
How do you say this?
Well, I mean,
back what they're saying up, and so I think I think it's definitely a good sign that they are kind of telling everybody just chill out a little bit. I appreciate you guys giving me all the credit, but there's also really other good kids in this draft, and you saw 2 and 3. You saw how emotional John Moran and RJ Barrett were with their fathers, and I thought that was also a very cool emotional connection as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, with Zion, dude, I mean, it sounds like people are expecting him to score 40 points, 30 points, average that in the first year of his career. I wouldn't be shocked if he averages 10 to 15 points a game. It's not like he's going to blow everything out of the water right away. And if he does, then that's just amazing. Good for him.
Exactly.
But Kobe White, the Bulls have made it very clear, even announcing this publicly, that they do not want Chris Dunn to be their future point guard. So drafting Kobe White kind of adds that even more to the fact that Chris Dunn's going to be on his way out. Don't be surprised to see Kobe White really take strides this next year as a member of the Bulls.
Yeah, so on this Chris Dunn deal, so I read something on Twitter that the Bulls requested a pre-draft workout from Kobe White, and he was denied. And also, Kobe White has the same agent as Chris Dunn. So what do you have to think about that? It was the agency that denied Kobe White to do a preseason workout.
Well, it's pretty interesting that this was before the draft.
Yeah, this was a pre-draft workout that the Bulls requested for Kobe White, and Kobe White's agency denied it.
Wow. So a couple of things about that is, one, I wouldn't be surprised if Kobe White ends up switching agents just because of the fact that his agent doesn't seem to be too big of a fan of the Bulls. Secondly, I'm actually hearing that. I'm actually surprised that the Bulls drafted Kobe White, if that was the case, from a front office standpoint, if they know that they're only going to have problems with Kobe White and his agent.
Well, yeah, so here's the thing. Obviously, they were very interested in him in the beginning. I knew that they were kind of liking his play style. Yes, it is very. I wouldn't say, here's the thing. I wouldn't say it's concerning, just because I think Kobe White looked and seemed very at ease of where he was going. I don't think there was any I don't want to be here. I didn't really get that from his body language.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. I feel like he's happy to be a part of the Bulls.
Yeah, so like you said, we'll see what he does with his agent, and who knows? And Chris Dunn might be out, and so might just be his agent. So I guess we'll see where that goes from there. That'll definitely be something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely be something to keep your eye on, and there's not going to be much to keep our eyes on for the Bulls this upcoming year. Maybe they start turning around a little bit like our White Sox are, but hopefully they end up figuring it out down the road. All right, so now we're going to the part where I texted you guys last night. I'm ready to go with this MLB All Star voting.
No, yeah. So I'll let you rant here in a second. But I'll just say my little piece first. I remember watching a game 2-3 weeks back when it was kind of just in the middle of this voting. And I remember them stating, I think, 4 or 5 people on the Sox that were in second or third, so that would have made them into the second round.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, that sounds good. They sound pretty safe because they were showing their margins. And then I remember turning the game on last night, and they went on and said, yeah, congratulations to James McCann, which he's very deserving of it, 100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I was shocked out of my mind to think that Tim Anderson didn't get it. Colome, where's Colome at? I mean, it's just
they didn't announce pitchers yet, though. And if Colome doesn't end up being in the All-Star game, that's insane.
Okay, exactly. So, yeah. So, I was very shocked to hear that. I think Tim Anderson definitely was deserving of it. But, I'll let you go on your rant now because I know you have a lot to say. So, that was just kind of my piece.
So, a couple things. One, I'm going to go on my rant. And two, I made a list of players by position that got snubbed and who they should be replacing. So it'll be interesting for me and you to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
The MLB All Star voting is one of the most stupid things that baseball has ever done, considering all the stupid decisions that have been made with the pitch clock and all the other changes. But they need to take a lesson from the NBA All Star game and their voting. They have it divided 40% fan. I think it's 30% general managers, 30% coaches, and like front office people and all that. Yeah. And then it's 30% coaches. So that way, people that deserve to be in there, but it still gives the fans a chance to vote for players that they want to vote for, like their favorite team or whatever.
Exactly.
Which gets me into my next point. People voting for their favorite teams, no matter who or what the stats are or anything like that. I think that the MLB needs to send a note, a memo, whatever, to the MLB teams and tell them that they need to stop telling fans to just vote for our players.
Yes.
I understand saying vote for certain players like they have done the last couple of days. Don't get me wrong. I understand that 110%. But when the voting starts and you're telling your fans to, hey, show us a picture of you voting for every single one of our players and we'll put you in a contest or whatever, which I saw the Indians do. I saw some other teams do that also. It's a bad rep, and it's absolutely tanking the All-Star fan voting because I made a list here. There's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys that I have that should be in the All-Star game that is not, which means that there's 11 players in the All-Star game on both sides, which is a lot of players that don't deserve to be in the All-Star game. Some of them, don't get me wrong, deserve to be there, but there's players at their position that are better than them that should be taking their spot.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know how the NFL does their Pro Bowl voting too?
No, I'm not sure about that.
I'm pretty sure it's kind of the same as the NBA. But man, it's just I can't wait to hear your list. Let's go to the list now because it's going to be interesting.
All right, so we're going to start with the National League. I'm going to start with my NL Rookie of the Year pick, Peter Alonso, who's batting .274 with 60 RBIs. I'm pretty sure that's league leading in 26 home runs. I have him replacing Anthony Rizzo. Peter Alonso has 7 more RBIs and 7 more home runs than Rizzo, and only is 1 point lower than him in batting average.
And I'm sorry to say this too, but you know why it's like that?
Well, he's a Cubs player.
And not just because it's just because he's Anthony Rizzo. It's the name. That's a killer. It really is because as much as everyone and I love Anthony Rizzo as well.
Don't get me wrong. I think Rizzo's deserving of the All-Star game. I just don't think that he should be in because there's people at his position that are better than him.
100%. And you have I consider Pete Alonso an up and rising. I mean, he's kind of like Anthony Rizzo. He's just not as well known right now because he's a rookie. So
exactly, and he's playing for a poor New York Mets team.
Exactly.
Yep. So now moving on to my next guy, who I think is the biggest snub out of this whole MLB All Star voting. Anthony Rendon of the Washington Nationals, who's batting .313 with 52 RBIs and 17 home runs. I have him replacing Josh Donaldson, who I don't think should even be smelling the All-Star game. He's been 265 with 36 RBIs and 14 home runs. Therefore, Rendon has almost 60 points higher than him in batting average, almost 20 more RBIs, and 3 more home runs.
Wow.
And Anthony Rendon is an MVP candidate right now.
That's unreal.
It's absolutely just disturbing. And Anthony Rendon's going to go out and be one of the top MLB free agents. And I can tell you right now, a lot of the general managers look at this small stuff to try to hurt them, to give them cheaper money. And it's all about the All-Star game. They put incentives in contracts saying, hey, if you make the All-Star game, we'll give you an extra $1 million, we'll give you an extra $500,000, whatever. But it can also go negative where they're going to be like, hey, Anthony, we know you did really good last year, but hey, you didn't even make the All-Star game, so we think that we should be offering you $5-10 million less.
Yep.
So that's going to get interesting. And now, this is the worst part of the All-Star game is the NL outfield. It is horrendous. And I'm going to say something about one of my favorite players that's going to break my heart. First off, shout out to Jock Peterson for making the All-Star game. Should he be in it? Probably not. But there's 4 outfielders on the National League that should not be in it. Albert Almora Jr., Jason Hayward, Kyle Schwarber, and Jock Peterson. All of them having a subpar year. Kyle Schwarber's been 230. Here we go. These people are going to shock you that they didn't make the All-Star game.
3 Cubs?
3 Cubs.
So 3 Cub outfielders.
Yep. It's no bueno.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's not good. So, first off, we're going to highlight Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. Another New York Mets snub. He's batting .342.
Oh, my gosh.
And he is not in the All-Star game. I understand. I'm pretty sure he's been hurt a little bit. I think he missed 10 games at the beginning of the season. I still, though, batting .342 this late into the season. Are you kidding me? And you're not on the All-Star team?
That's unreal.
It's very unreal. And then we got David Dahl of the Colorado Rockies, who's batting .327 with 36 RBIs and like 9 or 10 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Juan Soto batting .300 with 43 RBIs and 11 home runs. And then my boy, the Freight Train from the Arizona Diamondbacks, batting .290 with 40 RBIs and 10 home runs. Just it needs to be fixed because that outfield for the NL All Stars is not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, you. It's kind of like hard to even put into words because you feel for the people, because you said like it costs people money. It really does.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Some people might say, "Oh, it's just an All-Star game. They really don't care about that." Well, the All-Star game brings a lot to the players.
Oh yeah,
yes,
to be able to say that you made the All-Star team.
It brings you contracts with it brings you commercials. It gets you in commercials. It gets your name out there. It gets you recognized. I bet you if Pete Alonso made the All-Star game that you would probably see his jersey sales rise just like that. It's just so hard to put into words because you feel for the people,
Yeah. Yep. So now we're going to move to the American League where I think there are players that haven't played a lot this year that are making the All-Star team. We'll get to that. And actually one of the first people, Whit Merrifield, unbelievably bad snub. He's been .299 with 10 home runs and 39 RBIs, which is amazing for a second baseman. I have him replacing Jose Altuve, who shouldn't even be close to being on the All-Star team. He's a great player, but he's barely played this year. He hasn't shown the ability that, of course, it's Jose Altuve. He's a great player, but he's been hurt. How can he be on the All-Star team if he's been hurt? Now, here's another big one. Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. And you would think because he's a Boston Red Sox that he'd get an extra amount of voting, but he got topped off by a New York Yankee. So, Rafael Devers batting .310 with 12 home runs and 48 RBIs, which is a great season, don't get me wrong. Then Gio Urshela of the New York Yankees, who we saw him have a terrible series against our White Sox this past week. He's been good. He's having a great year. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's a guy that should make the All-Star team, but there are people that are doing more and better things than he is. So, It's just Devers should be on the All-Star team because he's having an unreal year. Gio Urshela should be on the All-Star team because he's also having a good year, but he also shouldn't be because there's people at his position that are doing better than him. Now, PT, we're moving to the big one, dog, the one that hits us closest to home. Tim Anderson, batting .314 with 10 bombs and 38 RBIs. I have him replacing Carlos Correa, who is currently hurt, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tim Anderson making the All-Star team, replacing Carlos Correa. But again, Carlos Correa has had a great year, but as of now he's hurt. There's no reason that he should be on the All-Star team. So, PT, we both know Tim Anderson's been our guy. He's been our pimp. He's been getting stuff done. How do you feel about Tim Anderson not making the All-Star team?
I think there's a positive and a negative. So obviously, I wouldn't even say positive. I think just the negative side of this is this energy that Tim Anderson has been producing for the White Sox has been tremendous. I mean, we're playing 10 times better than we were last year. We look like we're having fun. And it's people are gelling. You see relationships be created in the clubhouse. There's no negative energy within that. And he's a big Chicago guy too.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's a killer. I really, truly, honestly do. You kind of think that you think you're producing the way you are, and like you said too, like I said earlier too, this could be a game where they could get Tim Anderson some money. It could get him some more recognition for what he's been doing that people kind of have been shedding a negative light on, that some people have. Yeah. But also I think Tim Anderson has kind of made his name for himself already this year too. So, he got snubbed. I think that's all. As inconclusive, that's all. He got snubbed.
He definitely got snubbed. Now, Xander Bogaerts batting .299 with 14 bombs and 50 RBIs. I have him replacing Gleyber Torres, who, again, has had a great year. He has 18 bombs. But when you look deeply at the numbers, 12 of his home runs are against the Baltimore Orioles.
Wow.
So take those away. He has 6 bombs. Home run's a home run. But when you're playing the Baltimore Orioles, I mean, there needs to be a little bit of leeway with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gleyber's batting .287. So, again, Xander Bogaerts is 12 points higher. And he has – this is going to shock you. He has 24 more RBIs than Gleyber Torres.
Wow.
It's just – it's a whole lot of RBIs. And especially with the Yankees team who scores a lot of runs, Gleyber Torres, you'd think you have a lot of RBIs. So, just things need to be looked at a little bit more closely with numbers, especially with voting. And I don't expect fans to be looking at these numbers like me and you are, but it's just Xander Bogaerts needs to be in the All-Star game. This one, Trey Mancini, outfielder for the Baltimore Orioles, and I think the sole reason why he didn't make the All-Star team was because he's on the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
He's batting .307 with 16 bombs and 35 RBIs. .307 is nothing to be shy about because that's unbelievable. He's batting over 300. And here's another one. I have him replacing Aaron Judge, who hasn't played since April.
Are you kidding me? I remember hearing about that. Aaron Judge is in the All-Star game. That's unreal.
Yep, he hasn't played since April. He's been back for a couple games. He just started playing again. So, again, I'm happy Aaron Judge is back healthy playing baseball. He's a great player. He's a great player, but hasn't been great this year because he hasn't been on the field.
Well, yeah, so with that being said, so we've seen a couple of hurt people. So I think that with this being said, I think that a couple of things get eliminated here. If we move it to how the NBA has their All-Star game voted, statistics and injuries and time of play will be all taken in by GMs, owners, and front office.
Exactly.
They understand what's going on. They understand what their players have been doing and producing. And there's almost a time, if you're out for a certain amount of time, maybe you shouldn't be considered to be an All-Star. Maybe you shouldn't be on the ballot.
Exactly. I agree.
Because that's a tough pill to swallow. And, I'm sure Aaron Judge probably thinks that he doesn't deserve to be in the All-Star game because he's bounced so long.
Yeah.
I bet you a bunch of these people do because they're proud of themselves, and a lot of these guys are playing out of their minds, but they know that some of them been hurt, some of them haven't been playing that well, And so they all also know that there's other people that are more deserving than them.
Yeah.
Most people aren't dick bags, douchebags, and say, "Oh, I deserve you," even though it's because my name is better than yours, basically. And it's not like that.
Yeah. And another thing, kind of going off of what you just said with the stats and everything, a lot of people aren't playing well. Again, Jock Peterson, I watch him unbelievably closely. I watch like every single at bat of his. He has the longest hitless streak right now in the major leagues. He's like 0 for 35 right now.
Wow.
So it might be higher, or it might have been broken. Sometimes things get slipped out of the way, but he definitely should not be on the All Star team. I love him to death, but hey, doesn't deserve it. Now, moving to a different aspect of the All Star game, we're going to talk about the Home Run Derby. I don't know if you heard about this, but one person has already confirmed that they will be in the Home Run Derby. PT, do you know who that is?
Harper.
Did he or no?
No, I have no idea. I was just guessing.
No, I was about to say. It's Vlad Guerrero Jr. announced that he will be participating in the Home Run Derby, which I'm actually really excited about because, again, he's an upcoming young player who, if you watch him hit batting practice, he hits nukes, hits a lot of them. So it's going to be fun to watch him be able to let it fly in the Home Run Derby. Maybe we'll even see his dad throw to him. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really cool. I definitely think that that would bring a lot of attraction and a lot more views if that definitely comes through. I think that would be cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'd be very cool to watch. Now, going to some not sad news, but this hurts me personally because this person is on my fantasy baseball team. He's 9-2 with like a 2.3 ERA. Frankie Montas of the Oakland Athletics. He has been a top prospect for many years. He's finally having a breakthrough season, and they announced yesterday he got suspended for 80 games for using PEDs. Just, you know that it's illegal, and I understand that some people don't think it should be illegal, but then again, you know it's illegal. Why are you taking it? It's just like Stephen A. Smith says. In this case, it's different, but he says, stay off the weed. In this case, stay off the PEDs because you know it's illegal and it's not going to help. It's not going to help or work for you because you know you're going to get caught.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but like, how dumb can you? How dumb can you really be?
Exactly.
You're gonna get tested.
Yeah.
You're having a great year.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're having a breakthrough year, they're going to test you.
So like, you just sit there and just kind of like, how stupid can you be?
No, for real. How stupid can you be? It's just not good. Not good at all. I'm currently watching the White Sox game, and I forgot to note this onto our podcast notes, but let's talk about it for a little bit. MLB prospect, Chicago White Sox catcher, Zach Collins got his first Major League start yesterday at DH, had his first career hit with a 3-run bomb that actually ended up helping the Sox win the game. It went 470 feet.
Yeah.
It was a bomb. And you know what I noticed about him? Do you know what his swing looks like?
Who's?
Remember Josh Hamilton?
Yep.
Looks just like his swing, and I love it.
It really does. I was watching this game last night too, and I saw off the bat, and I got up and I was just fist pumping the crap out of it, dude. It's such a. I think that he's probably been kind of put on the back burner.
No doubt about it. He's been put on the back burner.
And he with all these new prospects coming in, and I think he's going to help this team out a ton.
Yes.
I know a lot of people say his downside is that he's either going to strike out. He's going to strike out a lot.
Yeah.
But he also
walks a lot.
On a ton. I saw someone. I think they were talking about when they played at Wrigley that he walked 80 times this year.
Yep, his first career at bat he walked.
Yeah, and they said that was very fitting, which I think is hilarious. But I'm excited that he's up. I think he's. I'm just like, I know we're at 500, and like, people on the outside of the White Sox are kind of like, oh, they're at 500. But like, as a White Sox fan, this is getting me so excited.
Oh, it's
what is that?
Huge.
When I was at Wrigley for the first game when the White Sox won, I can't get over how electric it in Wrigley it was when Eli hit his home run. It was actually extremely loud, and people all around me were White Sox fans, and they were going ballistic. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am for the next couple of years and just the next decade that the White Sox have coming up.
Yes, I definitely agree 110%. because we're going to start seeing more prospects come up. It's going to be a good time. Going back to Peter Alonso, again, this just shows another point at why he should be an All-Star. Peter Alonso tied the New York Mets rookie home run record on June 22nd.
Wow.
He's going to break it, obviously, but the fact that he's breaking a club record by June 22nd,
yep,
and he's not on the All-Star team, I'm hoping he gets in somehow. I know there's still some I don't know if the MLB's doing it this year. I know they used to, but where they have like 3 or 4 players that you can do the last-minute voting thing for. They haven't announced it yet, but Wednesday starts a new section of voting where you pick who the starters are going to be. So it's going to be interesting then. The last topic of this podcast is actually very interesting, and PT, I want to hear your opinion on this. The MLB has granted the Tampa Bay Rays to play, I'm not sure if it's 2020 or 2021, that they'll be able to split their home games from Tampa Bay and Montreal.
Wow. Okay. So obviously, that's going to be very awkward for the fans. Tampa is going to be, I think a lot of Tampa fans are going to be kind of pissed off, I would say.
I would be very pissed off if the White Sox did something like that.
It's obviously you're losing half your games you can watch a year. Season ticket holders, I don't know how they're going to deal with that.
I didn't even think about season ticket holders. You're right.
So you're telling me that someone's going to travel one night to Montreal or 1 weekend to Montreal and one night? It's not going to happen.
No, obviously, yeah, of course.
So that's going to be very interesting. I guess there's going to be no fan time. I mean, the fan attendance is going to be awful. It's what you only can think.
It already is bad for Tampa Bay. They're like one of the worst in the league. And doing this, it's not only going to lose fans, it's going to hurt it. But you know what? For Tampa Bay, I say screw it. They're not getting a lot of fans in Tampa Bay. Why split? Why not just move to Montreal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Because I think it's stupid that the MLB even accepted this.
That is I'm sorry, but if I'm working for the MLB and I get put this in front of me, I'm like, how is this going to work?
Exactly.
So you're going to staff a stadium for half a year. You're going to staff 2 stadiums for half a year. You're going to have to produce food for half a year. Like, it just, all the logistics of this just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. It sounds very stupid. And something that actually just came to my attention is the fact that the players, wouldn't it be weird for Carthage, right? College ball.
Yeah.
If we played half of our home games at Augie Schmidt Field and then we had to go to some Park District field for the rest of it.
Oh my,
it would be awful.
Playing, oh my goodness.
It's uncomfortable. You can't get used to it. And each field's different in the MLB.
Yep.
And imagine with Tampa Bay, they have their field, nice indoor, and they're building a new stadium next year.
Yep.
So spending all that money to have to build another stadium just makes no sense.
It doesn't. So what you're basically telling me right there is that you're losing your home field advantage right there.
Yeah,
you're not going to have a home field advantage.
Another good point. They're going to lose their home field advantage because, one, Montreal's not their home yet. So when they do move there, I wouldn't be surprised if they struggle.
It's
not. It's something very interesting. Again, like we say at the end of every podcast, let us know what you guys think. I especially want to see what you guys think of the All Star voting. I know it's very
100%.
controversial. I've talked to a lot of my buddies, a lot of podcast buddies, who say that it's stupid. Every baseball, every sports writer, announcer, everything says that it's wrong. It needs to be fixed. The MLB is kind of behind the 8 ball with all the other leagues, so don't be surprised if we see some changes. Again, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at BrightLightsPod. Like our Instagram page. Like us on Facebook. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. See how we're doing. Again, thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.
Peace out.
Perfect.